Hello, I'm Pat Rohrbeck from SecureFutures and welcome to our Money Sense program. In this Getting Started video, I'm going to provide you with an overview of our Money Sense program, as well as give you some tips and ideas for how to make these lessons engaging and interesting for the students. Our Money Sense program has three 90-minute lessons, the first being Bank Your Future, which is all about budgeting and saving and compound growth. Check It Out, which is about opening and managing accounts at a bank or credit union. We also want you to work on instilling trust in those types of financial institutions so that students avoid using check cashing stores. And we close this lesson with identity theft. And our third lesson, To Your Credit, is all about what is credit, credit cards, credit scores, and credit reports. Schools can customize the Money Sense program based on their needs, so they can choose to do 1, 2, or all 3 lessons. In most classes, you will do 2 or 3 lessons, and our preference is that volunteers or a volunteer team deliver all of the lessons in a program so that there's continuity from one lesson to the next, and the students and the educator get to know you as a volunteer working with the students. Lessons are 90 minutes, as I mentioned. In schools with block scheduling, they have 90-minute classes, so you can deliver one lesson in one class. In traditional scheduling, you will deliver the lesson in 2 parts, and we have a nice clean break right in the Prezi and in the instructor notes to let you know where to start and where to continue the lesson in the second class period. You will be using Prezi presentation software in the classroom. The teacher will have this queued up for you. It's a very high quality presentation software. If you've used PowerPoint, it's simply a stronger version of how to present ideas and concepts. It's very conversational in approach. We build in a lot of questions right on the slides that you will be asking the students to get them engaged. And be sure to use Chrome and avoid Internet Explorer from a delivery standpoint. You can find the Prezi links in our resource library in online training, as well as under classroom materials on the first page after you sign into our volunteer portal. We've designed instructor notes for you that will help you in both preparing for and delivery of these lessons. In the instructor notes, you'll find a guide on how to kick the lesson off, which will include how you introduce yourself and what you do. We also discuss how to administer the pre-survey in the instructor notes as well as the post-survey. All of the slides from the Prezi presentation, you will find them throughout the instructor notes, and adjacent to them on the opposite page are the instructions for how to deliver the content related to those slides. And we also have throughout the instructor notes space for you to jot down your own real life financial experiences or others that you know. I frequently use my sons to demonstrate sometimes good points, sometimes not so good points about financial habits. But it's a great way to really bring the concepts to life. And this is why schools and educators choose SecureFutures and the Money Sense program, because of you and what you can bring to the table that is real world life experiences. We've also created a workbook for the students for each lesson, and it is full of the activities and illustrations of the financial concepts that you will be teaching them and working together with them on. At the end is a student financial capability checklist, which serves as a nice summary of the concepts that you discussed. And it's a great checklist of best practices that we want the students to put in place, and they can go through and do a bit of a self-assessment to see where they have good best practices in place and other areas where they need to create an action plan to put them in place. We also want you to encourage to have the students take these workbooks home and use them as a reference in the future, as well as share them with their family. In most classes, we have you deliver a pre-survey and a post-survey. So at the beginning of a lesson, you will pass out the pre-survey and have the students answer 10 questions about the concepts you're going to be teaching them about. We want to know what they know ahead of the lesson. You'll see that we have a identifier code that we want the students to detail on both the pre and the post survey. We don't have them put their name for privacy purposes, so just make sure that you're familiar with that. And at the end of the lesson, we have you deliver the post survey, which is the same 10 questions. And again, we want to see how do the students grow their knowledge over the course of the lesson from the beginning to the end. We really believe in outcomes. We want to make sure that our lessons are effective in teaching these students good knowledge, skills, and behaviors from a financial standpoint. If you are delivering the last lesson for the Money Sense program, you will have an evaluation that you pass out to the students. We simply want to know what they thought about the courses that and the lessons that they went through. It's good for you to review the feedback also, to give you any tips or ideas or guidance that would help you in the future, and to see how the students felt about the lessons. And then we want you to return those evaluations with other materials that are left over in the surveys to SecureFutures. Before we send you to the videos that we've created to do a brief walkthrough of each lesson, we're just going to provide you with some kickoff tips to, again, get things started on a strong note. I'll kind of share from my perspective how I like to do it, and these are tips that we've gotten from many other volunteers. Arrive early. I like to be in the classroom 10 minutes before the class begins, so that I'm there and present when the students are walking into the classroom. And I simply walk around and say hello, introduce myself, shake hands, ask them what their name is, and then also give them their name tent and ask them to put their first name down on the front of the name tent. Ask the teacher to introduce you and describe and tell the students why you're there and why they feel it's important for the students to learn these financial skills and concepts. And then also be sure to introduce yourself, where you work, and describe SecureFutures, but also why you deliver financial education to students like them and why you're with them in the classroom today. Also, be sure to set ground rules. You don't want to approach this from a lecture standpoint, and it's important to share with the students that you want them to participate in the teaching and learning process by asking questions as well as answering questions. And then it's your job really to fill in the gaps, again, for areas where they might not have as strong of a knowledge as we want them to. Also, ask them to be respectful and listen when others are talking. If you choose to have an incentive, and we are big fans of providing an incentive, but it's strictly optional, it's your choice. Candy always goes over well, even for 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. If I bring candy, I usually start all the students off with a piece and tell them I'm making an investment in them. And every time they ask a question or answer a question, I will give them another piece. And believe me, they still want those snacks. The other that can be effective is a raffle for $5 or a $5 gift card. I bring a roll of raffle tickets, and when a student asks or answers a question, I give them one of the tickets and just have them jot down their name on the back. At the end, we collect them all, put them in a box or a bowl, and have the teacher pull out the winner of the $5 or the $5 gift card. It's a little fun, and it's a way to get the kids kind of excited about things. And again, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds still feel value in getting $5 for free. Next up are our video walkthroughs of our Money Sense lessons. Again, thank you for participating and getting started. and we wish you the best in the classroom.